don't you take us back to the sailing and the story and really where this organization, the idea for this came from?
Yeah, so like you said, we kind of grew up on the water. Our parents were sailors before us, and there's a funny story of my parents had a 35-foot sailboat before I was born, and once I was born, even as an infant, like a few months old, they would place me on the high side of the sailboat. The sailboat leans, and they just put me, a baby, on the high side to like compensate the weight. So right off the bat, we were born on the water. And for us, sailing was kind of like anyone playing football or baseball growing up. It was just always it was our thing. Always on the water. Uh, so when Sean and I were 16 and 14 years old, that's when we first heard, like on the news, that at the time there were at least 22 veterans committing suicide each day. So on a daily basis, that's almost one an hour. When we heard that, it was shocking. We had no idea how to grasp that number. It's like, one death an hour. What does that even mean? So we just, at that point, like, we were frostbiting. So that means that we were sailing in the winter on Long Island in Oyster Bay. And we were like, hey, we always have this extra spot on the boat. Like, there's always extra space. Why don't we bring somebody who could, benefit from sailing on the water? And, for us, sailing is therapeutic. I always say that I forget that one math exam that I flunked when I'm out sailing. It's nice to be on the water in nature, among friends, family. So yeah, we brought somebody out. The first veteran we ever brought out sailing was a Vietnam War era veteran in the Navy. And he told us that he had PTSD and that he had been going to therapy for 25 years prior for PTSD. So we brought him sailing. Again, it was frostbiting, so winter, freezing conditions, not ideal. And it's a Vietnam guy, so he's older, so his bones are aching. Like, we're bringing him out sailing in the wintertime. I guess in hindsight, it kind of sounds a little insane, but he was up for it. And, we had a blast, went out sailing for a few hours in the freezing cold. We get back to the beach, and then he started to cry. And Sean and I, at 14, 16 years old, we started crying too, because we're like, what the heck is going on? Like, here's a grown man crying in front of us after we went sailing. And he said that after 25 years of going to therapy, that was the best therapy he's ever had, that day on the water. And and then moving forward, every weekend, since we would go sailing every weekend, he joined us. So every weekend he was out there with us sailing. And that's the first time where we realized, like, wow, we tapped into something that we had no idea existed, that was needed. So in a way, it was by accident, that we got into this. And then he invited friends, family, and then pretty much it kind of grew from there, but that's how we started. The snowy beaches of Oyster Bay.